All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of 3 League OGs. Of course, I'm joined with my co-host here, Muggsy Bogues, Charles Oakley, and Earl Cureton. Happy to see you guys here in the new year. How you feeling?
Great, Ashley. How are you?
I'm
Doing
great.
wonderful, Ash. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year's, everybody.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of NBA action underway, so we have a lot of hot topics to cover, but just your thoughts so far on what you've been seeing.
Well,
Earl, you the oldest. We gonna go by age. Earl,
yeah, let's go by age, bro.
Well, it's early in the season. I've been to a lot of Pistons games. I made their first 4 games at home, so I got to look at Cleveland and got a chance to see Boston when they came in here. And it's right now things are kind of just balancing out a little bit. Not a whole lot of real surprises right now. I mean, Phoenix is playing well. They were in the building the other night. They came in and played. Detroit's struggling somewhat, but playing great basketball. They've been in all the games they played so far. They lost to overtime, double overtime, and they beat Boston one game, and kind of surprised Phoenix when they came into town. But I mean, a big story right now is with those Brooklyn Nets and all the stuff that's going on with them. That's been all over the news right now, and the stuff that's going on down in Houston have been two of the hot topics in the early goings in the season. And those Utah Jazz are a little bit surprising right now too.
To me, it's just like moving into a new house. You're breaking a lot of furniture and all, teams all over everywhere trying to find themselves, guys trying to find their roles. But at the end of the day, it's been a little sloppy. And I think another week or two, you'll see the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top, and the guys who think they got a team this year are going to fall to the bottom because everybody's trying to understand their system right now. So, like you said, a lot of stuff going on in Brooklyn. Your best player always going to be, LeBron, KD, Curry, and all them guys. They just trying to just get everybody else on their team together and, hope to have a good year.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, I just been watching just the league within itself. Every team, especially the first 10, 11 games, trying to jock for that position, trying to establish, where they are. And I know, especially for them young teams, it's so important to get out to an early start. And I've been really watching the Hornets, and that's one of their main objective is trying to get out to the early start. And watching the transformation of Melo Ball, how he's integrating himself with the team, how Gordon Hayward is starting to kind of show his leadership with these young guys and kind of really elevating, the other guys in terms of their growth process. PJ Washington, Miles Bridges accepted his role coming off the bench. So a lot of things been happening in that regards with the Hornets, but just watching, as Oak and Twirl just alluded to, all the things that have been going on in the NBA with Kyrie Irving, James Harden being disgruntled up there in Houston right now and where he wants to be. So a lot of things has been happening, but it's been exciting for me.
Well, you mentioned the Hornets, and that's the game I get to go to when they're here at Spectrum Center, and it's been fun. Like 4 wins in a row. We're looking for win number 5 tonight, so it's just been exciting to kind of see the community in Charlotte be excited. And we have to talk about LaMelo Ball. Became the youngest player the other night to ever record a triple-double. Just your thoughts on his play so far here in Charlotte.
Well, that's got to do a lot for his confidence to get that triple-double that early in the season right now. And it's important for rookies to get their confidence going early because, it's brand new. They want to get off to a good start. So for him to record a triple-double, that's great. I think they're happy with what he's doing right now. And Charlotte's looking good. I mean, they're playing good basketball right now. Haywood had a good game the other night. I think, 34 points or something like that he had the other night. And he's looking good. So they're off to a good start. But like Oak say, once all the furniture is broke down and the house is tore up, then we're going to see what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm. You got to give Charlotte a lot of credit. They took ball number 3, and he playing, he bringing him off the bench. This might be a good thing. Let the guys see the game, come in. He's showing his skill level, great IQ. Haywood, like I said, last 2 out of 4 games, he had 40-something, 30-something. And like I said, they got a 4-game winning streak. And I think that in the next 2 or 3 weeks, they're going to have to put him in the lineup. It ain't about time to just wait and see. You should be able to see now that he has IQ. He can run a team. He get everybody involved. And basically, that's what you need out there all the time. You're trying to build your base to make a playoff this year.
And I mean, just to piggyback on what they were saying, I mean, I'm so impressed with his play. I mean, he was one assist away from getting a triple double against Atlanta, then came back and followed up. I mean, against New Orleans against his brother, and then came back and followed up and got a triple double. Being the youngest able to do that, I mean, it's impressive. And as Oak said, his IQ level is off the chart. I mean, he sees the game. It's kind of for a young player to be so young. The game has slowed down for him, and it probably because he had an opportunity to go over there and play professional overseas. But he really sees the game, and he feels the games when he comes in. And I think the coach is doing a good job right now of kind of bringing him along slowly, not messing with his confidence, because there's sometimes where he don't have a good shooting night, but he doesn't hang his head on that. He plays both ends of the floor. He's a impact the game rebounding on a rebound aspect of it or in assist. So he's really doing a great job just coming to play each and every night.
Well, and then all of you guys kind of touched on what's going on with Brooklyn and Kyrie and just all of that. Just your thoughts on that, and even James Harden in Houston.
Well, that situation right now is getting out of hand, and especially, I mean, Harding. I think he pretty much let them know before the season started that he didn't want to be there. He's becoming more vocal with the press conference he had the other night, just saying they don't have enough talent. If that don't shake things up, nothing will. I mean, that was an insult to his entire team to make a comment like that. And so he's screaming at them to say, "Hey, I want out of here." As simple as that. The Kyrie thing, don't quite understand what's going on there. I know they got a chance to have a great team. They need to get him in place if they're going to win. They can be good with Durant, but they're not going to make any noise unless they got both of those guys on the floor. That was the whole reason for putting them together. And for whatever reason, he's off the bus right now. And they got to get him on track right now. I'm sure the owners are not happy with what's going on. I hear, he was at a family party or whatever, no mask, breaking the codes and all that. And he's making a lot of money. If you're paying that kind of money and you got a job, a lot of people don't have jobs right now. So, he needs to get on board and get there and get things going. It's going to be tough enough in the first year for those two guys to get the chemistry and the team working together. So they don't need that kind of stuff going on right now this early in the season. So you got two problems in two different places that need to be corrected.
Well, I'm going to start in Houston with James Harden. He's a pro. He's supposed to be a pro. You get paid like a pro. Basically, I think you got more talent than you got now since you've been in Houston with Cousins. If he get his game together and Wall, and if you get in shape and come and play like you're supposed to be a pro, that's what I'm saying. You keep paying the league making these habits, making these problems for these teams, the individual. If you was a guy who want to win a championship, you should have, when you first got to Houston, try to play like you want. You don't know the game like a guy who want to win the championship. You play within yourself. Win a championship, you got to play within the team. Understand the structure, because some nights it ain't gonna be you. You got to get the other guys going. So I'm blaming him. I'm not blaming Houston. They did all they're supposed to do. They offered him $105 million. He turned it down, and he coming and playing lackadaisically. I mean, your teammates. I mean, if he was my teammate, I'd have said something to him because I'm out here playing. No matter if you're mad at them or whoever, you still got to perform. We're a brotherhood. You got to come out and perform every night on the court. I'm coming to training camp. You got all the excuses. Everybody's playing through a time in life and it's not easy for no one. The coronavirus, this and that. So we got to watch what we do. But in Brooklyn, like I say, when the players got control of the league, run the league, and I think with Kyrie, I mean, he has some things going on, but when you start letting everybody keep doing things over and over and this and that, so now you can't really tell him this and that. He got to be a man enough to realize that when KD came there, they came there to win a championship, and it's their goal to do. They got one of the best teams, best 1-2 punch in the league right now. And, so LeBron and AD in LA, they should come and just say, whatever's going on, Kyrie, KD got to go talk to them like, man, we all got problems. Can we play with problems? You can't play with problems. Brooklyn is not going nowhere because it's going to be a problem all year.
Yeah, and it just saddened me that, that Kyrie is going through this situation because he's a great kid. He's really a great kid. But for him to continue to put himself in this situation, I just wish he would just focus on basketball. I know that the social justice and all the other stuff that off the court is a present for him. And I wish he were able to, kind of manage the two. because he is being paid to play basketball, and his teams rely on him. And he was one of the main guys that orchestrate Brooklyn to get KD to play with one another. And they've got something special over there. And he's kind of, trampling with that chemistry right now by not showing up, by not being accountable, leaving it all to KD and going off on his own, not telling the coach, that I'm going to miss a game, not even giving him a phone call. So we outside looking at him, but it's just sad to see him going through this because he has so much talent and they could make so much noise in the East and possibly, compete for that championship. And as far as for James Harden, Oak just, tapped on it brilliantly. You've been paid to play the game. You got to come to be in shape. You can't throw your teammates under the bus. I mean, we all professionals. Those guys are all professionals in their locker room. They all grown men, and they all, understand what when words is being said and when it's not coming in the direction where you throw me under the bus. They all got pride as well. So it's a disgruntled situation. I just wish they all kind of come to the meeting of the mind and find him a home to play, because right now Houston is not the place for him to be.
Well, I want to say this too, because it's weird to me. This guy's had everybody with him. I mean, you had Chris Paul down there with him. They brought a number of different players in there. They've been accommodating to him in terms of player, but it seemed like nobody fits. He's not getting along with anybody. So if I'm looking to trade for him, is that going to be a cancer to my team if I bring this guy in? Because obviously everybody's looking at him right now because they gave him an opportunity to play with several different guys. Had several different guys come down there. Even his best friend, Westbrook, just left from down there, and that didn't work out. So what's really the problem right now? I mean, where do you see the problem being? You got to be looking right at him right now because they put a lot of people around him for him to be successful.
Yeah, that's a great point. And kind of going back to Kyrie, I mean, obviously, we're on the outside looking in, like Muggsy said, but you only get so many years in the league. You're making all this money. You kind of orchestrated everything to come together. If I'm KD, I'm not happy right now because you're supposed to be my counterpart there. And then I'm always disappointed for people. There's so many people that wish they had that opportunity and they don't get it. And you're just kind of letting it go to waste. So I hope he can figure it out. But, it's kind of been a ongoing theme with him no matter where he's been. Somebody touched on it, COVID kind of impacting all the rosters. We're seeing the league introduce some new protocols for teams and what they can and can't do when they're at home, when they're away. Just kind of your thoughts on what you're seeing with that and how you see it playing out as we keep going further into the season.
That's going to be a problem throughout the whole season. They're trying to, catch things before they happen. And you can see a lot of players are missing, from the rosters right now. And, it's becoming a problem. So they're trying to tighten it up. In terms of cutting down the shoot-arounds and, and not having meetings and being in the same place, putting your mask on while you're on the bench. So they implemented a bunch of different rules that just passed to try to tighten things up. But I think this is something that's going to continue to be a problem as long as COVID is out there because, it's hard to keep that away from what's going on. I mean, that's why players, they got to abide by all the rules and do everything the way it's supposed to be done. But I can't see that just going away. So they just got to keep working together and try to keep it tight so that it don't ruin the whole season.
I think it's just gonna be more sloppy basketball because they don't want to be there. They cut shoot around out and detail. Everything you cut something out is you cutting out detail. You cutting out your team from learning. And these teams need to learn. They need to learn the game. No, they're not gonna just learn the game in a room when they don't have shoot around. They're gonna sleep in, be lazy. The body's gonna be. Don't want to play. This guy just shoot around is for a reason. To get your body up, get active, to get your muscles flowing, and, blood flowing. And I think that, the COVID ain't going nowhere. And even though if it do, it's going to be around for another year and a half, 2 years. So my thing is, they did a great job in the bubble. It's hard to get two things back to back. It's hard to win 2 games back to back. It's hard to win 1 game. So it's gonna be a problem all year, and these guys sooner or later they're gonna break. They've been trying to be professional. I give them credit, but they're gonna break before it's over. They're gonna say, "Hey, enough is enough. Let's just sit back, relax. Playing basketball ain't gonna get rid of the problem. So let the government or whoever's in charge, CDC, try to get rid of it. And let's just sit back and relax. We gave them last year. We played under bad conditions, so let us have a year to ourselves."
Yeah, I mean, for me, I just wish the guys would really buy in with the protocol. They want to play, they create an opportunity for them to have a season. I mean, if these guys don't want to play and they don't want to get paid, man, then say so. I mean, because that's the issue. You know, a lot of folks right now are out of jobs right now, and here they create a situation where they got an opportunity to play. We just need to follow the protocol. Everybody need to, buy in. We all can't hang out right now. Everybody can't go and socialize like we once did back in the day. We got to get through this first. So in order for us to get through it, we just got to buy in, especially if you want to have a season. And the only way you're going to have a season, if everybody take care of their responsibilities, everybody go ahead and buy in what they supposed to do and not go out there and be selfless and put others in harm's way, because we all supposed to be in it together. If this is what the whole, body of party and collective agreement you call for, then, we all should do that. But if you don't want to play, then you should just come out and say, listen, I don't want to be paid. I'll go home and sit and watch until all this stuff is over. And then you're rightfully so to do it, but don't jeopardize others while they're trying to make sure that they're trying to do both at the same time, pay their bills and have a season.
All right, we're running out of time for hot topics. Any final thoughts on hot topics in the league right now?
No, just want to see it continue. I mean, I'm sure the fans and everybody want basketball. There's no question about that. You want to see these guys get through it. I think Muggs hit it on the head. Everybody's got to make a sacrifice right now. I mean, the whole public's got to make a sacrifice right now. It's not only an issue in basketball. It's an issue, out here in the streets right now. You got people out here that don't want to do what they're supposed to do. So it's not just basketball. This is a time right now where everybody needs to come together and do what's right. Listen to the things that you got to do to protect others as well as yourself.
Absolutely.
I agree with Earl and Muggsy. I mean, couldn't have said it no more better. But like I said, it's a problem. And so we can talk all we want about guys coming together, this and that. When we started watching the news and your leaders and this and that, they confused. What you think we gonna be? We not getting correct answers. We not, like what happened last week at the Capitol. I mean, it's just like it's so much going on, and then they throw in your face social media news, and then they expect us to walk a straight line every day. It don't work like that. I don't care if basketball, who paying this and that. I mean, like I said, they were blessed last year to get out the bubble with no serious problem. So now they coming. And like I said, we don't have no problem. We got a vaccine, but we don't know what 100%, 80%, 20%. Some people trying to do the right thing, get the shots, and hopefully second round shots work. But it's still issues because it all started at the top.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a little break and we're going to bring in our guest for today. Alonzo Mourning, obviously our guest for today. So thanks I'm just enjoying all the conversation between you guys, but I want to officially, introduce you and welcome you to our podcast. We're thankful that you're here joining us and giving your perspective. We just wrapped up hot topics before we added you in. Just kind of curious what you think of what you've seen of the season so far.
Well, COVID is a vicious animal. Okay, and it has altered our lives tremendously. Everyone around the globe, it has basically brought us to our knees, and we've had to totally adjust our lifestyle, and it's going to be this way for a while, and it's affecting, obviously, the sports industry. With that said, I commend Adam Silver and the front office staff for all of the amazing work that they've done, especially in Orlando, to finish that season out and not have any infections in that bubble. And to be able to finish the season out the way we did and to be able to celebrate a champion, I thought it was awesome. I commend them. They did a phenomenal job. Now, we're fighting a different animal because we can't put 30 teams in the bubble. We just can't do that. And having to deal with that season, I think it has, considering the circumstances, I think that the season has been okay, considering the circumstances, just okay.
Definitely. And I know we obviously want to talk to you about your time playing and a number of different topics. So I'm going to give it back to the guys for the rest of this segment. But what are some things that you want to touch on while we have Zoe here with us?
Hey Zoe, what's up? This is Earl Cureton,
Earl,
man.
what's up, baby?
How you feel? Yeah, it's
I'm
a
good.
different breed of players now, man. These guys, I mean, we had a lot of love for the game we played. We played the game. I mean, yeah, the money, all of us wanted that, but we also loved the game of basketball. We played with a lot of emotion, a lot of feeling. We wanted to win. We wanted to compete. We took the craft serious, and I question, how serious a lot of these guys take it. I don't think they take it and feel the same way we felt about it. Looking at some of the guys that come to the league, they got a whole lot of other things going on in their lives that comes before basketball.
Yeah, well, a lot of that has to do with technology. I mean, we didn't live in that world.
Right.
That's a tremendous distraction. It really is. It's a tremendous distraction, and then there's this thing called load management. What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Hey, Zo, that's an 18-wheeler with a half a load.
Yeah.
That's when you try to go to that weigh station. Now don't want to be overweight. That's the NBA.
Yeah,
guys
man. Come on, man.
money. They pay them a lot of money for half a game. That's all they get. If you look at the NBA, everything you just said, though, is go back to the NBA trying to go global. They went global. They want to be more a little softer with the guys. They don't want the defensive talent that we used to play with. They want these guys to be more like actors, entertainment, performers, like music. No, basketball, football, baseball is a sport with you got to have talent. And now the NBA, biggest problem is they overpaying 90% of the league for their talent, and then they wonder why teams ain't getting better every year. You have bad product. You look at the NBA right now. You might have 3 or 4 guys. One guy on a team maybe can get his team through the playoff. Back in our days, we had 10 or 20 guys. We had talent, but I'm talking about LeBron, KD might be the only 2 guys can take a team all the way. They might not win it, but they can get their team there, like Butler did for Miami. The Greek Freak and a few other guys, they can't do that. That's what these teams losing out. They keep giving the guys $200 million. They just gave the center in Utah $200 million. This guy can't make 3 free throws. You can't win with him. Get you a wing guy, because basketball is about wing guys now. Look what Grant doing in Detroit. He went OKC. They traded him. He went to Denver. Now he's in Detroit. He can play, but sometimes get a wrong team. But a lot of these guys now, man, I'm telling you, man, they go to the big school, they get in the league, they can't produce. That's what it is. They can't produce. They get the money, but they don't produce with the money.
Yeah, well, like I echo, I echo what I said earlier. I think the hunger and the drive is different. Totally different from back in the 80s and the 90s. Just the hunger and drive is different, because the money, yes, we paved the way and we did all the things in the past, to help to allow the popularity of the product to increase globally, to where these young people, these young guys are able to make the money that they're making. So I know for a fact that if these guys would have grown up in our era, I think that, they would approach the game differently, because it's a different era, man. It's totally different era. And you know what? It's not their fault. I think, it's a combination of a lot of things, man. Like I said, social media, guys that care more about their brand than they do winning a championship.
What I'm saying? That all started back in the AAU days.
Yeah.
Because that became so popular. That became so popular more so than our era.
Yeah. And you know what? You think about MJ. MJ wasn't worried about his brand. Winning took care of his brand. You know what I'm saying? Him kicking ass, winning championships, that created the brand for him. So I think these guys now are kind of putting the cart before the horse. They're worried about their brand before they've done anything. They ain't even done nothing yet.
Well, that's
So
what I was talking about.
the brand.
Because
Yeah.
I mentioned it before. I mean, I played with Muggs and Oak and Alonzo. I watched you throughout your whole career. You couldn't drag you guys off the basketball court. I mean,
No,
you weren't
man.
missing no games. You weren't,
No.
through injuries, through sickness, through whatever. And Oak, the same type of situation. I mean, you was relentless. I mean, you held your teammates accountable. You came to play every night. Regardless of what the situation, whether you felt good, there was no such thing as load management or anything like that. And Muggs, God knows you went out there and gave it everything you got all the way to the end of your careers through injuries and through everything. And you just don't see these type of players in the league right now with that same type of attitude, or they got to learn to become, those type of players. I mean, we want to win championships. We want to be on winning teams. That was an important thing in our era, in our time. Winning was everything. If you want to win, you want to compete every year you come in there. What are you out there for if you not want to win championships and win games?
Yeah, but you know what? Like I said, these guys can play now. The current players can play now 2 to 5 years and retire on what they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that becomes a luxury for them where, where that voice, that coach or whoever it is, talk to them, it's like, whatever, and it becomes that. So, but just not to change gears, but as we talk about players of the day, what do you think about the incoming class with Wiseman, with the kid Elvis and Mellow Ball and Obi Toppin and all those young cats that came in this year?
Hey, listen, I think first and foremost, there's a lot of skilled players in the league, very skilled, and the game has forced a lot of these players to adapt and work on their skill level, ball handling, passing, what have you, because the game is stretched out so much more. So, man, I love those guys. I think they're amazing talents. I mean, you get this kid Ball, and I think that having the defense the way it is, the defense is a lot more
It's
lenient.
soft, say it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say. I mean, from a defensive perspective, these guys, if they're able to handle the ball and get to the rim, then they're a lot more impactful because of the way defenses allow you. There's less impediment. There's tactile touching and all of that stuff. With us back in the day, it was lockdown. We had our hands on guys. And it was very difficult to get to that bucket. I mean, with Riles back in the day, Pat Riley, we had a no layup rule. Oak know about that no layup rule.
Yeah,
Guys get to the rim, we put them on their back. Now it's a flagrant foul. So, I mean, the players that's coming into this league now, having multiple skills, they have evolved into complete players now. They're not just positional players; they're complete players now. And I think it's a good thing for the league. It's making it more exciting. The scores have gone through the roof. But at the same time, because we grew up in a certain era, we have somewhat of a biased opinion about it from that perspective, But I think the league is in a good place. I mean, look at the money that's being made.
Absolutely.
No, I watched. I went back and just doing my research, with Zoe. I was what I did. I watched your Hall of Fame speech the other day, and I was just, when you watch a person's Hall of Fame speech, it tells you a lot about that person because a lot of time and effort is put into putting that speech together. But
Right.
the way you put yours together, it was with perfection. And it kind of, it symbolized the kind of person that you are because of your background. They just kind of told your whole life story of what happened in terms of, growing up in a foster home and, then going to John Thompson. And John Thompson does such a great job as mentoring you and Tumbo and Patrick and you guys. And you came in there as a father figure that taught you guys not only basketball, but he taught you guys about life and how to be able to survive. And I just saw all the elements that you had there. You had Pat Riley, you had John Thompson on stage, and you talked about your upbringing and all the things that happened to you, going through the kidney transplant and everything. And I was just so impressed with all of those things that happened. I mean, it kind of symbolizes what kind of person you are today. and what you did all throughout while you were in the league, and how appreciative and how humble you were to the fact that all these things that happened to you throughout the league. Touch on that a little bit, because I was really impressed with it.
So Earl, thanks for those words. And, more importantly, the biggest focus that I had during the Hall of Fame ceremony was, in leading up to that, when I got the call months before that I had been selected for the Hall, was I reflected on over 30 years of basketball. I reflected on that and understanding that I did not get there by myself. And I wanted to make sure in that speech that I knew I was going to have one opportunity to say what I needed to say, because you don't have two chances to do a Hall of Fame speech. Not in case you go back as a coach, go back in as a coach, or vice versa. So my focus was identifying all the individuals that had the greatest impact on my life and the game of basketball to help me get into the Hall. So that was my biggest focus. And if I could, my way of celebrating them was either mentioning their name or having them there. Because it was a celebration of a 30-year career, because I started playing the game at 8 years old, and I retired at 38, so, and now with the front office, I'm being educated behind the scenes, with the combination of my perspective of the game, I'm being educated about the game. But I just wanted to celebrate all the people that helped me that had helped me get there. And, it was a humbling experience for me, because I think of all the greats. I think of all the greats that I competed against, and all the ones that really paved the way for me to have that opportunity to have a 16-year career. When I first came to the league, I'm gonna tell a quick story. When I first came to the league, the smallest guy in the NBA took me under his wing, and that's Muggs. And I was very grateful and thankful for that opportunity, because that helped catapult my career through his tutelage and his support and his advice and what have you. I was very grateful for that. So thank you, Muggs.
And I appreciate that, big fella. And I was going to ask you, just to piggyback off that, how was that first year experience in terms of your time here in Charlotte? Because I think for us to finally, get that monkey off their back and to be able to advance and advance in make the playoff for the first time in the NBA in the franchise history. It was catapult because, that shot that you was able to take at the top of the key. I want to know, what did that shot do for your career in terms of, going forward? And just give me a little bit in terms of your time here with Charlotte, because we all know once you got to Miami and everybody's seen the Miami and then the New York situation, how everything kind of went in terms of negativity, in terms of you and LJ and that sort of thing. But I recall how much fun we all had here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And how we was brotherhood here in Charlotte in terms of, how we went to war with one another. And I just know how we reflected on that. And I know where your heart is. And I just want you to talk about that a little bit.
So, I had a tremendous amount of camaraderie in Charlotte, especially my first year with that team. We were winning. We were the up and coming, exciting team that all the younger generation that were basketball fans, they wanted to be like the Charlotte Hornets. They loved our team because we were young. We got up and down the floor. We were exciting. It was, a great collection of players, and we were winning. And we kind of built somewhat of a momentum and an audience that made us, one of the hottest up and coming teams in the NBA. With that said, I never wanted to leave Charlotte. I remember having a conversation on the phone with George Shin, and it wasn't a pleasant conversation, but I told him I didn't want to leave. And, unfortunately, from a business perspective, agreements weren't met, and there was some words exchanged that forced me to leave. And, I think Miami was one of the best things that ever happened to me from the perspective of my basketball career, but Charlotte will always have a place in my heart. And to this day, I really, really appreciated those first couple years being in Charlotte, because it helped mold me into the person or the player that I was, simply because those years helped me build a tremendous amount of confidence. It really did. I mean, when I hit that, you mentioned that shot. That shot, yes, that was our first franchise playoff series win. But at the same time, that shot just basically told me, yo, I have arrived. I'm here to stay, when I hit that shot. So that just, my confidence just ballooned. And, we all know this as players, everybody comes to this league, they're talented, but they're working to try to build their confidence level, you know what I'm saying, and compete. And once all it takes is a game, man. It'll take one game to turn the corner on your career. You're like, whoa, I did that. I'm capable of doing that, so that was that game for me. Even though I had a great, leading up to that, I was having a great season. I was 20, 10, 3, 4 blocks a game. Mm-hmm. But that game really catapulted me mentally to say, yo, you belong here, and you will be here a while. You've arrived. Yep.
Yeah. And that's what I want you to talk about, because that was special for the city, for the franchise at the time. Yeah. So I appreciate
and we had the largest, most consistent, and exciting fan base in the NBA.
Yeah, 24,000.
There were games, not knocking the Clippers, but there was games where with the Clippers, not a lot of people showed up to see them play back in the day. Mm-hmm. But when we played them, they came in town. The arena was sold out, packed all the way to the ceiling. Mm-hmm. So no matter who we played, they packed that arena. And I'm gonna tell you, the energy that we got from that arena, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, if you can replicate that, man, that just, there's nights where you just don't have it in the tank, but their energy is infectious. It was very infectious, and it just helped. It helped us get through that season. It really did.
Yeah. But I couldn't understand how we beat New York during the regular season, and then they kicked their ass in the playoff.
Well, and I know. And I know. The playoffs is a different animal.
Yeah.
And I learned that real quick when we were in the old Boston Garden.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, this is not a regular season game.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Yeah.
Well, you definitely made the right decision leaving. I thought it was a misprint. They offered you what, $11 million over 7 years, and then a year later you signed for like $105 million.
Yeah, I did. But you know what? You know what I told George?
I know.
I told him, I said, I'll be willing to take less than that. I said, other teams are offering me this, but I'm willing to take less than what they're offering me just to stay here. And he looked at me and he told me I wasn't worth that.
Wow.
Did that motivate you?
Motivate him to leave.
Yeah. He told me I wasn't worth it. He told me I wasn't worth it. Yeah.
Well, you
So-
showed him.
Yes.
Wait,
tell me
bro, I
about it.
got a better question. What are they telling these guys these days? They giving them 20 million and 1 3 million. It's
Say that
backwards
again?
now. I said they paying guys backwards now when they were trying to pay us back in the day.
Yeah, they're paying them. Yeah, they're paying them backwards.
They
Hey.
paying us backwards.
Hey, the rookie minimums. Hey, the rookie minimums right now, the rookie wage scale is more than what we were getting paid right now. Think
Man.
about it.
Yeah.
Think about it. The
Yeah.
rookie wage scale, what these guys, what the 20th pick is getting.
Whoa.
It- I mean,
I made 300 my first year. 275,
Right.
300.
check this out. The
Yeah.
They
20th
probably
pick,
making 1.2, 1.3.
the 20th pick in the first round gets about a little over $1 million a year. Think about that.
Yeah.
Great.
Crazy.
That's mind-boggling.
I can't even get in that conversation.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling.
Know what it was like when I came in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know.
Like a cigarette and some donuts and 25,000.
That's what I'm saying. Actually, they were paying first round draft picks $50,000 and $60,000 when I first came in the league.
Amazing.
Yeah, Larry Smith, Mr. Mean came in. He signed for $40,000 his first year in the league, first round pick. You know?
Incredible.
Oh yeah,
Guys was playing in the league, had to have a job.
yeah.
That was a side job.
I had a hell of a contract, 55, 65, 75 for 3 years.
Well, you know what did it? You know what did it? You know what did it? Technology, TV.
Oh, no doubt.
Once
That
David
global
Stern,
went global.
once he
Yep.
started signing those TV deals,
Oh yeah.
then the salaries just ballooned, man.
Right.
So
Well, that was
We
his
had the
goal
product.
this whole time. Is to
We
take the league global.
well,
Yeah.
the network, we didn't have the networking. We
Well-
didn't have that networking back in the 80s. You know
No,
what I'm
but
saying?
what-
No, what I'm
but
saying
what
was David
really-
Stern, his goal was always before he died. You know, before he got out of office for being the president. But his thing was to get them international contracts and go global. That's what he pushed for every time.
Yeah.
And Al is like a piece of cake. He baked it, put the icing on. He ain't got nothing to do but sit there and cut his fingernails off. Cause unless somebody have a problem or something, he got to come in and make a speech or something. But his job is easy.
Right.
Yeah. But what really helped was Magic and Bird came in at the right time.
Yeah.
And then that was able to, create, and then that TV got a little more unity in terms with the collective bargaining, and then when they came up with that TV package, then that's when you start seeing more the salary start to escalate a little more. With the
And
partners.
The 9 years,
and-
24 billion. That's what did it.
Was 24, 25? What did they get?
And then Michael Jeffrey Jordan came into the league.
Yeah.
That black cat.
He made it better for everybody else.
Right.
But
Damn
financially,
right.
he didn't make it better for himself until the last 2 years of his contract. So,
What are you talking about, man? He's making more money right now off the court than he ever made on the court.
No. I'm saying his last 2 years with the Bulls. He only
He talking about,
he had signed that 7 years, $21 million. The same thing with Scotty went through with the Bulls. But so they turned down Michael. When I told Scotty, they're gonna turn down Scotty. But we're saying he only made that 31 and 36, and they come back on 40 something. They like, you know what? We can't wear 7 rings at one time. That's what the Bulls said. Because they ain't give him a chance to come back. Huh?
They made up for it his last couple of years. They gave him $30 million a year his last couple of years, right?
Yeah, but
Well, shit. What about all the years before that? He took them pay cuts.
Well, he signed the deal though. But my thing was the leadership. Sometimes they say, well, in some sports, some guys make it so great, like golf. Tiger Woods, the golf association should pay him $10 million just because he's Tiger Woods every week. Because if he don't come, the ratings ain't gonna be up. And that was somebody, I'm just saying, but they're not. But that's how much Tiger meant to golf, Michael meant to us, basketball for us. He definitely made a way for guys to get the money get today.
Right.
And it was a little different back then because Chicago, they had their own TV rights. And
Yeah,
so it was a little different back then with the sharing of the pie. so to speak.
You also have to look at it too. The players are not getting paid for what they do on the court now. It's what the sport's generating. I think Zoe, you hit it on the head. Television contracts and amount of money that is generating, the licensings, the selling the jerseys, and all the other things that they making so much money off of. I mean, these owners are making a ton of money, and so you got to pay the players a percentage of that.
Hey, Earl, you just mentioned another point of revenue sharing, merchandising.
Right.
Think about this. Back when we was playing, we had a home and away jersey. That was it.
They got 10 jerseys now.
They got about 10 different jerseys.
And a court to match.
And a court to match this jersey.
Yeah.
and they sell it all over the world.
The court look good. They should have been did that.
Yeah.
The paint color,
the black. Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
Oh man. And they selling all these different jerseys around the world now.
All over the country. And China makes a huge deal out of it. I mean, Yao Ming coming into the league, I mean, they really jumped when they did the deal with China. I mean, all those people over there, it's like that, we went off the charts with that.
So you mentioned China, okay? This should put it simply for you. There's one NBA office in the United States. In China, there's 5.
Wow.
Okay? Just think about that. You got one in Indonesia, you got one in Shanghai, Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and it's another place. But you got 5 over there. But you only have one in the United States.
Yeah. Shenzhen, Beijing, Singapore, Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was in Beijing for the FIBA championship last year. I don't know, it's all a blur, 2 years ago, whenever we got to travel. And it was crazy to see the impact of the sport there and just how much they embrace the NBA.
Oh, no doubt. And that ain't going away at all. That's just that's gonna continue to grow. That fan base is gonna continue to grow. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. We were over there for exhibition game when LeBron was with the Heat. We were playing the Clippers. And I was on the elevator with David Stern, and we were coming down the elevator, and we were on our way to the game. And I said, David, what is it about China? Why are we putting so much emphasis in China? And he said, we only need, this is what he said. He said, we only need 300 million of them. And I thought about it. And I was like, well, damn. They got 1.3 billion over here. Yeah. And we got 300 million people in the United States. All they want is 300 million fans over there. And they almost I think they got it already.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they have more than that. But then, of course, they took a little hit with Daryl Morley comments.
Yeah.
They took all that. But still, individually players are so huge over there. Yeah. It used to be, the team was, in terms of Houston and LA, the Lakers are still one of the, and Miami as well. But when the Lakers go to China, especially when Kobe was there, now LeBron, I mean, it's like rock star all over again.
It's that way when I still go over there.
It's crazy. I know.
I've been retired, over a dozen years, and I mean, come on, man. That's how they treat me when I go over there.
And that's what I was been saying. Same for the and when I go.
That's
what I'm going to say.
And treat me. Give me some donuts. That's your noodles.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna roll out the red carpet for you over there, big fella. I tell you, they are very hospitable over there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of fans, should we get into fan questions? What do you guys think?
Yeah,
got a few of those?
Yeah.
All right. Of course, we always ask everyone to use the hashtag and chime in on social media. 3 League OGs if you have questions for us. We'll start with this one. Fans want to know, when switching teams in the NBA, what is the biggest factor for players on where they sign? Money, culture, championship, a little bit of all that.
It used to be about championships now, but I don't know. With some of these players now, it could be money if they're young, if they're at the end of their careers looking for championships. It could be a number of things. So
it
It depends on the player. That's what I could say. It depends on the player.
Right.
Yeah,
In his
depends on the player.
situation. Depends on the player in
Some
that
of them,
situation.
you know, some players, they don't worry about the money because they're gonna get, if they're good enough, they're gonna get the money anywhere. So they look at being close to their families or maybe winning a championship. They factor in a lot of different things.
Well, what about a situation when you offer $80 million and you turn that and go take an $18 million deal, but and the reason you do it because you feel like you get an opportunity to win a championship.
Yep. Well,
Right.
some guys do that too. You know.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
That's what Ray said.
$60 million. Hey, my thing is, if it's meant for you, don't mean you're gonna get it because you go somewhere. So, hey, wait till the end of your career. Get the money first. Then at the end of your career, hey, 2 or 3 years left, you can
Yeah,
make that
but you got
choice
some of these. Listen, you got some of these guys. They've made so much money early in their careers, and they're nearing, you know, that point in their career where it's like they're at the peak of their games. And yeah, they can make a lot of money right now, but yeah, I got a bunch of money already. I really want to be a part of that.
Right. Yeah, that's a little different. That's a little different. We talking about somebody maybe about 4 years in the league.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The guys
yeah.
got established.
We talking about somebody under 5 or 6 years in the league. That's somebody 10 years in the league. That's what I think that's when you can make that decision. Maybe in your 9th or 10th year in the league. When you 4 or 5 and you need to get that one more contract, be safe. Then like, okay, well, I take somebody got a slot for $7 million, but I'll take the $3 million. You know what I'm saying? Take half of mid-level, whatever it is.
I mean, that's what Ray Allen did for us.
Well, Ray was in a whole different situation, you know.
Well, he could have made more money somewhere else, but he decided to come to Miami and win a championship.
Yeah, it's at the end of a career, and the guy wanted a chance to win. Look at a guy like Gordon Hayward just came to you guys in Charlotte. Now he turned with 85 or something like that. He had to go get 130 in Charlotte. Now is this
He only turned down 30.
Oh, was it 30? Or was it 30?
Yeah, it was 30.
He got 120.
Like 30.
120.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
120. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next game question.
Ray, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm saying Ray had to get out of Boston. So it was a good thing is he went down there, he see some horses at. So he made a great decision. That was a business decision all the way.
Championship decision. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then and just before we get off that topic, we always got to keep in mind. I mean, we always say that guys be chasing rings, but we all know this is a business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is business for one. You know, ring is great, but business for one. Business is the primarily, goal that why you employ. Right. So, but everybody, again, we all chase it. Everybody have their own reason to chase that ring.
All right. I know it's early on in the season, but this fan question, what player has surprised you the most so far with what you've seen early on?
What player?
I tell you what, Jeremy Grant up here in Detroit, he was a third fiddle or something down in Denver. From the games I don't see with him, I mean, he's really he's been off the chart the last 4 or 5 games for Detroit.
That hadn't surprised me. Yeah. I mean, because he did it in the bubble, so he did it in the bubble.
So he came up here and he's really stepped this guy. I mean, he's got a chance to be a number 1 option, on a bad team right now, and hopefully they build around him. But I mean, he's showing that he's got some potential, to become a lot better player than what he is right now. And he's showing that early in this season. That's been one surprising person to me.
Yeah,
I think that KD came back and showed about it. He's still a top 2-3 player in the league, and no question what he's doing from the surgery. And you can see he still got it. He ain't lose nothing. Some people say he's gonna come back 70 to 80%. He coming back 90% from last year off of surgery. That man can flat out play.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention John Wall just to give him a little love, and I wasn't, sure how well he was going to come back. I thought he was pretty much done because he relied so much on his speed. He came back and he looked relatively, like himself again. Maybe lost a little step, but he's still playing some expiring basketball. So I was really surprised to see him back the way he is.
I think I go with you, Muggs. I think John Wall, because I mean, he had a devastating injury, couple of injuries.
2 of them, yeah.
He had 2 of them.
Yeah.
And for him to come back the way he's come back and to have the impact that he's having, you know, that surprised me. Yeah. But I'm happy for him. I really am. I'm very happy for him.
All right, this is on my list of fan questions. If it's off topic, just tell me. But this one says, they want to know, what were Zoe and Oak thinking when they saw Jeff Van Gundy run off the bench to break up the fight in '98?
I wasn't thinking it. I didn't even know he was out there until he was on my leg. I didn't even know he was on the court until I looked down. He was on my leg. I didn't even know.
I thought it was one of my teammates. Maybe now I probably thought it was Jeff. I probably let those stump on the head.
Oh, man, it's funny.
Bugs, Earl, your thoughts?
I just know that's historical right there. They keep showing every time you look at the history of basketball, that scene comes up. I mean, that you know, everybody, you know, it was funny as hell. I know that, you know, and Oak got in the middle to try to break it all up, and you know, and him the one down there. But they just show you, he had fire in him. He ran out there and tried to get in the middle of all of that. So that's gonna be history from now on. They'll be showing that for the next 30 years. So.
Well, my reaction was, I saw my boys out there, both of them throwing shadow. They were both shadow boxing. You know, that's what I saw. I said, look at my fellas out there shadow boxing.
They didn't really want to hit each other, Bugs. They weren't trying to hit each other.
All right, and last fan question, very early prediction for the NBA Finals matchup. If you had to pick now, who are you picking?
Ooh.
I got Brooklyn and the Lakers.
I got the Lakers for sure. Now the East is I'm looking at this Philadelphia team right now. I mean, Doc and them, they got that team rolling down there.
I know you play with Philly, Earl. It's okay.
I'm looking at that Philly team because you know, if they can pull it together and keep it together, they got something going. They got a different coach down there. They added some shooters, and you know, they looking pretty good early. You know, so I don't know. Boston is a question mark. Toronto is way down. Milwaukee is a question mark. So I think, you know, Philadelphia got a shot to come out the East this year if they play it right.
Yeah, you said about Miami. You talking about 18. Miami went to the finals last year.
I ain't mentioned Miami. We'll see. Right now, Miami's struggling out to shoot right now. We'll see though. We'll see what happens.
You know, the teams y'all mentioned some good teams, but I still like Milwaukee. You know, they can't. You know, they're having trouble, but it's gonna be hard not to pick Brooklyn. Especially if Kyrie come back and, you know, he buys in and do that. I mean, with KD and Kyrie on the same team, it's hard to, you know, go against those
I got a better way. If they had Dinwiddie, I'd still take Brooklyn without Kyrie.
Oh, Dinwiddie? I like Dinwiddie. Oh,
get to Kyrie will come back.
To get to the finals or to win it?
With KD, I'm telling you, man, if Miami had KD, Stella, Butler, they might have won last year. What about that, Zoe?
Hey, we should have won anyway. We had players.
The big LA Lakers, you had to have somebody average 30.
We had players hurt.
41.
We had players hurt. 2 of our key players were hurt. So we should have won.
But you need that sniper, though.
Yeah.
Y'all have some fishers, but you ain't have a sniper.
Well, Miami surprised everybody.
We got some snipers.
Y'all got something. There ain't no sniper like KD, though.
I heard you. I heard you. Okay. Hey, look, I'm a little biased.
I know. It's
You should be.
But I tell you what, I like
protect your home.
Yeah, you got to protect your home.
Before the call insurance come, that's all. Protect your home.
But I do like that. I do like Hero and Robinson though, man. Them cats be, man. Them young fellas, man. They relentless. And
you gotta get Jimmy Butler his props too. I mean, that's a hell of a team they put together. A young team. They surprise everybody, and that's why everybody kind of just looking. You can't really look over them because they gonna be around. You know, come playoff time, they definitely gonna be around.
That's what James Harden did with Houston. You know, even though James Harden may be more popular than Butler, but Butler put that team on his back. Ain't too many guys can put teams on their back and do what Butler did. James Harden can't do that because you got to be a two-way player. You got to be a two-way player like Kawhi Leonard went to Toronto. A two-way player. If you got one superstar on a team like that can put a team on his back, Kawhi Leonard, that's the last 3 years, he had two guys to do that. But even though Kawhi won a championship, but Butler showed it can be done. The Greek Freak, he might be a number 3. He needs a number 1 and 2. Maybe he can get there. They got to keep adding to Milwaukee. I like Holiday, but I think they still need more. It's just something about them. The water, there's something in the water up in Milwaukee.
Well, while we're on this topic of talking all the teams and who we think are going to be playing each other for the championship, we've got a new segment this week. It's called Power Rankings. Based on what you've seen so far, give me your top 3 teams in the league right now.
So, Ashley, I'm going to end on that because I gotta go.
All right.
All right, Zoe. Appreciate you, Big Daddy.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, now.
Love y'all,
All right,
man.
Zoe.
Keep me in the fairway.
All right, good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you.
See ya.
For me, is the Lakers, Philly, and Boston.
I'm not gonna count that Clipper team out down in LA. I'm gonna go with.
We just said top 3. It's like put them at 4. You ain't counting them out.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Lakers. And that Philadelphia team. I like that Philadelphia team at 2. And then I'm gonna probably throw those Clippers in there at 3.
I'm gonna go with the Lakers, and I'm gonna go with Brooklyn 2, and then I'm gonna go with Philly 3.
I keep leaving Brooklyn out because Brooklyn got that big if,
They got KD though.
Like MJ used to say, if it was the 5th, we all be drunk. So they got an if in there.
They got KD down there, and that's hard for. I saw what he did with Denver.
KD can do what Butler did to the Heat last year. I'm telling you, if they had them with him, I think he can still get them to the final without Kyrie. But with Kyrie there, Brooklyn all out in the East.
Yeah,
I agree. They got great role players. You right about that. Those guys played well last year with those guys, so they got great role players on that team. There's no question.
Yes, they do.
But I think they need Kyrie to get over the hump, though. They got to have him playing at a high level. They got him playing.
Well, you can get there. Hey, you never know with that team with KD. I'm telling you, because like I said, Miami had KD last year. Miami could have probably maybe beat the Lakers. So KD, he gonna get 30. He gonna get 30. It just ain't no way the team gonna stop him.
You saw him last night against Denver. I mean, and that's
efficiency though. 12 16, 35 points. Come on, man.
But you can see him. He was enjoying that, having the ball in his hand, making passes for his teammates. Being able to do what he do. You can see that he was really enjoying that as opposed to just sitting around watching.
Let me ask this then.
We got some breaking news real quick. It just popped up. Just got to bring it out. Woj tweeted this. Brooklyn is acquiring Houston's James Harden in a blockbuster deal. Sources tell ESPN.
Oh, you know what that is.
You want to change your rankings? No.
No, Brooklyn.
Kyrie going to Houston then, probably.
Yep.
Let's see the deal here.
It's got to be the deal. He's got to be going there. They did that deal. He's got to be there.
Wow.
How Kyrie how he work himself out of Brooklyn, man?
These guys, I'm telling you, man, this money, man. It's the money. Everybody making $40 million, but are they accountable? You can't hold these guys accountable. So you give him the money, then he's like, don't leave the bubble, don't go here, don't. These guys gonna do what they want to do. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Ash.
Oh no, that's all we got. I have no details of the deal, just that it's a blockbuster.
Well, I mean,
that's wild. Ooh, that's
James Harden in Brooklyn, though. We always talk about two-way players. You've been talking about.
I don't think that helped Brooklyn. Because he's a Kyrie though. Kyrie can flat out go. He can spread the floor. They got that. But far as like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, that's gonna be.
I don't know
question.
That. I don't.
With Harden,
we got to see what that deal is. We got to figure out who they traded, who's all this. The blockbuster deal. It don't matter.
What I'm saying is James Harden, for him to come in now, he want to play back. I don't deal with guys don't want to play here but want to play there. That's so he's selfish and too late he's gonna quit on you too.
Well,
That's all. But they ain't gonna go his way in Brooklyn. He gonna put on you too.
well,
If he
that's what I was saying earlier. You know, he don't play with a lot of cats. It ain't worked out with nobody. You know, so
Well, you look what happened in Houston. They, you know,
Yeah.
they had him. He had the coach that he wanted. He had the GM that he wanted.
yeah.
He asked for, you know, the players. Chris Paul, he got him. Then all of a sudden, he want to play. He asked for Westbrook. Now they gone now. You know,
You
But
gotta
this
you gotta
ain't
question
gonna-
that. If you're a general manager, you gotta question that.
yeah.
You gotta look
Then
at
Tony
that.
got all the guys
So
are
you go
gone
to
now.
Brooklyn. This ain't your team now. I keep telling everybody, when you a superstar get traded to another superstar team, you the second fiddle. James Harden, you the second fiddle in Brooklyn.
Oh,
you
without a
number one in
doubt.
Houston. So he don't think he's number one, number two. And you know,
Yeah.
that's KD team.
Wherever KD on the team, that's KD's number one option.
Well, I was getting ready to
Right.
say though. I want to know. Okay, KD couldn't get OKC over the hump though. What was the reason for that? Was Westbrook the problem why they couldn't win a championship
That
down
was
there?
early in his career, though.
Early.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that was early. That was
3 years ago.
That was early in his career. James Harden was a rookie.
James Harden not efficiency is KD.
Just gonna
KD
tell you all, it's gonna be KD, Kyrie, and James all on the same team.
Oh, okay.
What?
They
Well,
must have
that's
traded.
coming
they
out
must-
right now. I'm
they
trying
must-
to. It's like
they
going on.
must-
I'm trying to
They
keep up.
must have gave Brooklyn away then.
They
Brooklyn
must have
oh,
gave LeVert, then Whitty.
everybody. They had to get rid of everybody. Yep.
It's
I don't like
Brooklyn's
that.
acquiring James
I don't like
Harden in a
no.
three-way
I don't
deal
like
with
that.
Cleveland.
With Cleveland.
Three-way deal
I
with
still don't.
Cleveland.
I don't care. Cleveland ain't got nothing to do with it, really. They just, they just a piece of luggage that somebody lost at Southwest trying to get on Delta.
The
It's
Nets
drunk-
are trading for All-Star James Harden and sending 4 first-round picks and 4 draft swaps to the Rockets.
Well, think about that. With KD on that team, they first round pick is probably in the 20s. So the 20 picks that ain't nothing no more. They're like taking trash or dump and it's already full, send it to the side.
I didn't mean to get us off task, but who knew? Like major breaking NBA news was going to happen.
But that's
very
going to be
early.
interesting. Is it enough balls in there? Is it going to be enough balls?
Ain't nobody disciplined. Like, they not going to be like Miami. Because LeBron, it was the best player, and he dictated. KD, that ain't his thing, is bringing the ball up, dictate. His thing is, he can bring it up sometime in the course of a game, just pull it up. And he got to get these other guys. Kyrie is a GOAT. Oh man, this is like marrying the same girl twice and hope she come back to the third time.
Chemistry will be a factor.
Chemistry, they gonna have to bet another lab. We trying to find a cure for CDC. We trying to find a cure for the vaccine now. It's gonna take another 3 years. They gotta get a cure for them, and we gotta get a cure for this. Oh man, come on.
I know.
Well, NBA.
Well, before we got off, way off topic or on topic, however you want to look at it. Final thoughts on today's podcast. Obviously, it was great for Zoe to join us and talk about some of his achievements and different moments in the league with you guys. But final thoughts as we wrap it up.
I thought another good show. I think we're going to keep striving with this. We went live yesterday. With the Vince Carter with the first episode. So we just got to continue to keep going with this. And it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. We got great guests coming on here, and the topics that you guys come up with are really interesting. So we got a lot to talk about. And I think it's going to be something special here.
Today was a good day. Zoe brought a lot of energy, veteran to the game, know the ins and outs, work with the Heat, won championship. And at the end, we heard about the news. Brooklyn getting James Harden. So we talked about that. I told Muggs, everything we talk about seems like it always comes true off the air, but since we on the air, this came true. So somebody looking down on us and making sure this show take off right on a good foot, and we got to keep rolling because we talk about good stuff, Muggs. I told you that, Earl. So we talk about something. They follow the week, other people got their top serves. Let's keep doing it.
That's exactly right, and that's exactly my assessment too. Everything we discuss, we cover is pretty much relevant in today's society, and having Zoe on to share his thoughts and his experience, with the game as well as his vision on where the lead is and where it's headed. It's always good to bring old friends in and to chime in and chit chat. have conversation about it. And that's why we started this podcast, because we can bring our friends on to reminisce about the things that happened, and also to be enlightful with the audience out there, to give them our perspective of where our thought process is as well. So I'm grateful that my fellas, man, decided to join us, and I'm happy that Ash, that you hosting us and you're able to moderate us and keep us in line. So I'm thankful.
I try.
Slowly becoming an OG.
You had a quiet day today. We ain't let you do a break today.
Sometimes it just happens, and I just sit back and I get a front row seat to all the good stuff.
You got to jump in.
All right. That'll do it till next week then.